We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiences with extraterrestrials.
Yeah, I remember an interview with somebody that they were in an underground base somewhere, and they were face to face with an insect type being, and we couldn't handle looking into the mouth. And the being picked up on it and said, "You should look at yourself." You know. Yeah. So it was both ways. It wasn't working. You know. We were talking about Egypt, right? And if you look at the hieroglyphics or the paintings and everything, there's many different kinds of beings in those paintings. And whether they just represent something or they're actual beings, I don't know. But it's very possible that they could represent somebody. So if that's the case, yeah, there was a lot of meanings between different kinds of beings and back then.
It's time for disclosure. It's time for truth, because truth brings powerful transformations.
Does she get into specifics about, my imagination's running 10 different directions when she says squid-like, so I don't know if she says anything more specifically about the appearance.
We're the voices of change and profound evolution.
Interesting, and it's funny that we all kind of got stuck right there on the squid. But the cool part of it is that it sounds like she works with a group of humans, and this group of beings who they can't see, I'm assuming, are assisting her and working with them.
We're the bridge between two different worlds.
You know, for me, it brings up free will, those type of things. I wanted more from her because she's thinking in polarities. There's no gray, good people, bad people. What does that mean? You know, and if you come from the template that people evolve and that people are growing, so that now you've got them in categories. Does it take away their life lessons? Is it really possible for everybody to have a good life? What does that mean? So to me, it was just more questions than answers, because she's very vague and, you know, thinking of good and bad and black and white. I think it may be a little more complicated than that.
Right.
So right. That's what I was thinking about. I want to speculate, but I don't want to go too far afield. But she did say her wording was encourage people, so they're not forcing an agenda on you. But it does, for me, raise those kinds of questions. Suppose this lifetime is not going to be, well, suppose there's reincarnation, but suppose maybe I got some life lessons to learn, and what does a good life look like?
Profound integration is coming. Just who are extraterrestrials?
Okay, so let's drift and float away from that scene, and we're going to move to an important day when you're using your skills and you're writing and you're advising and you're using your voice and speaking out. And we're moving to that day. Tell me what's happening around you.
There's more people around. It's not just a small group.
Do you know these people?
I recognize some of them.
And what are you doing?
I'm sitting and I'm looking at the things I wrote. I'm talking. It's like I'm looking at my notes.
What kind of things are you talking about?
Trying to be encouraging, and I'm trying to share what we talked about with the group and make it approachable so that everyone understands the important messages, but you have to be careful and respectful and not pushy.
What's the most important message?
You have to be careful what the rulers are saying, because it's not always the best. You have to be careful when you say that, because you get in trouble. You don't want to cause a rebellion. You want people to be more loving.
And so what happens next?
People are starting to drift away now. I think I'm done talking to them.
Alright, and what's happening now?
I'm just sitting, enjoying the environment, breeze, just relaxation.
Who's there with you?
Looks like a bird. But he's not just a regular bird. He knows stuff.
How do you know he knows stuff?
Because I can see that he's more than just a bird. He's connected to something more. He's sort of a watcher.
Let's find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth because truth brings powerful transformation. And we are the voices of change. We're about evolution on an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I am a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel tonight. I just want to say to you guys that the work that you're doing here with me is so impactful. It's life-changing, and I thank you for being here with me. It means more than you realize, to me, as well as the listeners. We have Michael Carter, and he is a lifetime UFO contactee, author of Alien Scriptures, Extraterrestrials, and the Holy Bible, and he's also a regular consultant on the Histories Channel, Ancient Aliens series, as well as being featured in several UFO documentaries. Next, we have Bill Konkoleski, and he has been the state director of the Michigan MUFON chapter since 2004. Besides writing 2 books on his own personal contact experiences, he's contributed to numerous other UFO-related books, as well as television productions. Last but not least, we have Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're also the founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September, and owners and managers of Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings podcast on YouTube, and of the Mystical Awakenings Metaphysical store in Houghton Lake, Michigan. Now, the show is all about transmutating the light from the dark to replace fear with knowledge. Through my regression work, I have come across some amazing cases with some amazing clients, and I've worked with them to help them have a better understanding of the contact that they've had, whether they were taken, whether it was just regular contact, or if it was just a dream. I'm fortunate enough that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the Voices of Contact. Here, the panel will break down the experiences and provide profound feedback. So not only do all of the listeners get to connect and learn, the person that I regressed walks away immersed in their experience with a new perspective on their experience. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Oh, doing great.
Good to have you guys here. I'm so excited.
It's good to be here.
Yes, very good to be here.
So, to give you a little bit of background on tonight's show, it'll be the next 2 episodes with the same regression.
Mhm.
So this woman she is actually a channeler of ET. So through the regression, we decided just to take it to see where it goes. And she actually kind of went into a past life thing where she found herself in Egypt and around pyramids. And as she progressed through that past life, she really connected with what her purpose was working with ET and what she was supposed to be doing, which actually correlated with her here and now. So to get to the first clip, we start with her being in a meeting with different beings, different humans, and they're working on a plan and a project of what they want to do for the world. So give me 1 second to play that one.
there's a group of us that are trying to make plans, but I don't know. It's my job to document. But I also am one of the decision makers.
What kind of plans are you making?
Big plans to help lots of people, for all people.
Well, I want to move you forward to a little bit. And we're going to move forward to when you're in one of these meetings. And now you're at this meeting. And I want you to look around and tell me who's there with you.
There's a small group of people.
Can you describe them for me?
Some of them look like me, but I think this one looks like a squid.
One looks like a squid.
He looks like a squid. I don't think they're all human. They're all friends, and we're all working together. It's kind of funny.
Well, what are you working on?
So it kind of broke up a little bit in the first part. And so literally she's just sitting in a room and she's at this meeting and there's different type of beings. The one that actually stands out to her is the one that looks like a squid. And they're working on projects. And the parts that I did cut out were they're working on projects for the human race.
Does she get into specifics about, I mean, my imagination's running 10 different directions when she says squid-like. So I don't know if she says anything more specifically about the appearance.
She really didn't really describe him. All she did was laugh because she thought it was funny that out of all the different beings, there was one that looked like a squid. Like that, and that's how she described him. And the way she communicated with him was telepathically.
Okay. Not typical, that's for sure. Not commonly reported.
Yeah, I remember an interview with somebody that they were in underground base somewhere, and they were face to face with an insect type being, and we couldn't handle looking into the mouth. And the being picked up on it and said, "Yeah, you should look at yourself." You know, yeah. So it was both ways. It wasn't working. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. I'm curious, Bill, like you said, what, does it have eyes? Are the tentacles coming out? Where are they coming out? I mean,
Yeah, that's interesting, and it's funny that we all kind of got stuck right there on the squid. But the cool part of it is that it sounds like she works with a group of humans, and this group of beings who they can't see, I'm assuming, are assisting her and working with them. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And it sounds like, of course, more than one type of being. So it's different, maybe, one representing different beings. I don't know.
Yeah,
Did you say how many?
I went with you guys with the appearance. I'm sorry, Deb.
No, it's okay. I just wondered if she said how many different beings there were.
small group.
Yeah, it was just a small group. She didn't say that there was a lot of them.
Mhm.
No.
Okay.
Do you think this is a typical thing, perhaps, where there's councils like this, where they get together to decide what steps could be next?
Well, there's certainly a lot of information out there that suggests that, all the way to the Galactic Federation, all the way to small groups, that the Council of 9 that went to Council of 5, and
Yeah.
beings that have an oversee of this part of the galaxy, this part of the
Yeah.
area.
The allies of humanity talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
a group of beings that are supposed to be benevolent
Yep.
and are allies, and then a whole group who aren't. So yeah,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the literature
yeah.
that lends itself to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think, my hope would be that this would be common, although I don't know how common it is. I would have to say I'm glad, I'm glad that it does happen. It may be more common than we know. What do you think, Bill?
I don't know. I mean, we get such a wide. I mean, just speaking of, there's such a wide spectrum of things reported that, I'm not sure.
We were talking about Egypt, right? And if you look at the hieroglyphics or the paintings and everything, there's many different kinds of beings in those paintings. And whether they just represent something or they're actual beings, I don't know. But it's very possible that they could represent somebody. So if that's the case, yeah, there was a lot of meetings between different kinds of beings and back then. And I think
Mankind's original emojis. Yeah.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I think the history of Egypt goes back a lot farther than what we've been taught. So, there's a lot of history there.
All right, so this next clip, it speaks more on the strategy that they're creating, where they want to help lead the people to lead, to live the right life that they're supposed to live. And I think that's why it has an impact on me, because it almost feels like what we're doing now when we're connecting with other people to help them live the life that they should be living. So give me one moment.
Some strategy. We're trying to talk things out and figure out what needs to be done.
What needs to be done?
We need to help. We need to help the people, and we want things to be good for everyone and everyone to live good lives, and we don't want the bad things. And we don't want people to live bad lives. We want them to live good lives. So we're strategizing. How can we encourage people, and how could we guide them?
And who else is there with you?
There's men. There's another woman. In our meetings in a pyramid. It's small.
Could you ask the squid-like being what his purpose is there?
He's an advisor and a collaborator. They can talk to him, but in our minds. He doesn't have a mouth like we do. He sounds male to us when he talks to us in our heads.
And so what's the most important thing he has to say?
So who wants to go first?
It's funny that I think one of the Ancient Alien episodes donated some time it was actually about the octopus, that it's not from here, or it's not from here. It's a very intelligent being. So, if that's the case, and somewhere around the universe, like everything evolves more and more. I mean, insects evolve into very intelligent beings, and reptiles do, and humans do, and apes do, and so it's not beyond the possibility that we have an intelligent squid-looking being out there. So, I mean, everything could be possible. But I'm just curious who are they? What is this group? I mean, they said they're planning to make sure that humans live a good life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes me wonder that, do planets all start out the same and the same process happens, but how these beings evolve without any intervention, what's going to happen? I mean, could it be total chaos? Could it be without any order? Or could they be totally not good beings at all? Or does it take intervention to get them on the right path and teach them to be good people.
Yeah, you can. We're all so deep in thought over this.
Well, for me, it brings up free will, those type of things. I wanted more from her because she's thinking in polarities. There's no gray, good people, bad people. Um, what does that mean? And if you come from the template that people evolve and that people are growing, so that now you've got them in categories. Does it take away their life lessons? Is it really possible for everybody to have a good life? What does that mean? So to me, it was just more questions than answers because she's very vague and, thinking of good and bad and black and white. I think it may be a little more complicated than that.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I was thinking about. I want to speculate, but I don't want to go too far afield. But she did say her wording was encourage people. So they're not forcing an agenda on you, but it does for me raise those kinds of questions. Suppose this lifetime is not going to be, well, suppose there's reincarnation, but suppose maybe I got some life lessons to learn. And what does a good life look like? It may not look the same for me than for you. So I think it's a little overly simplistic and it raises more questions.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Michael. It's almost puzzling. You have to right away. I'm thinking, okay, so who determines what a good life is, and what is a good life, and could that be a part of the evolution? Is people having a good life? I'm confused on that, and I'm hoping that she kind of goes further with it. Of course, that's our hope, is that we can evolve to the point that at least there's harmony.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of my God, I don't want, so many different nuances and species of grace. But let's see these brothers and sisters with these big heads, and some of them, their faces look like they don't have tentacles. I mean, they're pretty anthropomorphic looking, but their heads and there is a squid-like, what do you call it? Oh, anyway, the features are the phenotype is they could look like a squid, but that's the only part. The huge heads, the eyes, but they have like a little robe on, a little coat or something on. Yeah.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what the purposeful outcome to all of it is. Like, what is the intention behind it? And it does come out through, most of the regression where the basic intent is just to improve the world and improve the way of living. All right. So in the third clip, it talks about more of her like specific work that she does. Like, what is her purpose? So she goes to these meetings and she's collaborating with these different beings and the other humans that are there. But what is the point of her being there and what she's supposed to be doing at the meetings? So give me one moment.
There's still work to be done. It started a long time ago. The work still continues.
What's the most important step that you have to take next?
Listen and learn and use your heart. And the writing is your job again, because you're good at it. You've always been. Or scribe.
So that's what you do, is you scribe?
Yep. And I also advise and I collaborate. I'm not silent. I help too. I have a role to play. I have good ideas too.
I'm sorry, I was going to say she answered the question. She's a scribe. It's very Enochian. She's like Enoch. She's the scribe to the gods. But again, it's vague. I help too. How? I have good ideas about what? You know, I'm curious about that. It's almost childlike the way she's describing it. And the inflection in her voice, and this is me speculating, it's almost like someone saying, "Hey, I got good ideas too." That's just the way I heard it. I got good ideas too. It's but yeah, I just it's like she's teasing me.
Yeah, all these threads that are dangled, you just want to pull at.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, if we could give her any advice, it would be, from me anyways, go deeper. Ask tougher questions. Don't be okay with the good lives and things like that. Just go deeper. We're not saying she doesn't help too, and she has great ideas, I'm sure. But bring those ideas out. What is it? Have her ask them, what is she supposed to do? Or do you know what I mean? Just go deeper with all.
Well, it's like she's at a board meeting and she's taking the notes, and they're having this meeting, but she's not. I want to see the minutes.
Right.
But
yeah.
you know what happens, I found out in our shows a lot of times as we go on, and maybe the second show we're going to do this, we may get more answers.
Yeah.
Especially, do you take her into her subconscious?
Yep,
Okay, so,
and that'll be the next episode.
And we'll probably find more answers there. But
yes, yeah.
It sounds like that these other beings that are not particularly human, she may feel like they're I don't want to say gods, but maybe they're more, they seem more
Evolved, more advanced, more
advanced. Yeah,
like she may be out of her league a little bit, but she is the scribe.
Yeah, but she
But
says, "I
even
got
that can
good
be,
ideas too." I
It
got
could be
good
like,
ideas.
just take the notes and we'll get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
what
it's-
I'm getting that. for
And I'm
sure.
hoping that's not it, but yeah.
Right.
Because there are other
but-
humans there.
Yeah,
I mean, it definitely seems like there's a hierarchy.
yeah,
The squid-looking brother is the boss.
yeah.
It
It
seems
seems.
like.
And
this little gathering.
maybe she was handpicked by them to be there. So she's definitely got a reason and a purpose, and they felt that too. So we'll see.
Right.
And two, keep in mind that when she went into her regression, she actually went to a past life. So she's literally a woman in Egypt way back when. So it could be that energy too, that women didn't speak up then. You just
Right.
did what you were told to do and what your purpose was. Because before I tapped into the subconscious, what happened was she ended up getting killed because of all the work that she was doing.
Oh,
So it
gosh.
could be something like that too, through the regression, that she's not feeling that energy.
Yeah, but
Not
I
saying
know,
that it won't.
definitely. But it depends on what dynasty you in. They were pretty advanced about how women were treated.
Right.
I mean,
They
after
were.
all, they worship Isis.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So it may not. It could have been that, but that may have been further on. But depending on what dynasty she was living in,
Right.
that lifetime was in.
Right. I agree.
All right. So the next clip is where they're finally taking the information to the people. So she's standing in front of the crowd of people, and after all the collaboration, she's speaking and trying to convince the crowd to go their way.
Okay, so let's drift and float away from that scene, and we're going to move to an important day when you're using your skills and you're writing and you're advising and you're using your voice and speaking out. And we're moving to that day. Tell me what's happening around you.
There's more people around. It's not just a small group.
Do you know these people?
I recognize some of them.
And what are you doing?
I'm sitting and I'm looking at the things I wrote. I'm talking. It's like I'm looking at my notes.
What kind of things are you talking about?
I'm trying to be encouraging, and I'm trying to share what we talked about with the group and make it approachable so that everyone understands. There's important messages, but you have to be careful and respectful and not pushy.
What's the most important message?
You have to be careful what the rulers are saying, because it's not always for the best. But you have to be careful when you say that, because you can get in trouble. We don't want to cause a rebellion, but we want people to be more loving.
And so what happens next?
People are starting to drift away now. I think I'm done talking to them.
All right, and what's happening now?
I'm just sitting, enjoying the environment and the breeze. It's relaxation.
Who's there with you?
Looks like a bird. But he's not just a regular bird. He knows stuff.
How do you know he knows stuff?
Because I can see that he's more than just a bird. He's connected to something more. He's sort of a watcher.
So you guys ever hear of the blue avians?
I have.
Yeah. A bird-like, they choose a bird-like form. They're from the 6th density. And they also said, that they came here during the Egyptian time, and it kind of backfired because they were revered as gods, and they didn't want that, but I couldn't help but think that, it reminded me of some Star Trek show where, there's the cave and you hear the voice and do what the ruler says, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't rebel. Love the rulers. And, it kind of reminded me of that.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. So, but interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and she does make the comment a few times about being careful and being respectful. Be careful how you say this, and be careful basically what you put out there.
Like don't upset the rulers, right?
Right. So that kind of, I don't know, maybe fits right in. And I'm wondering if she looks at her notes when she's speaking in this crowd of people. Does she know the message before she's giving it, or are they assisting her in giving that message on the spot?
My take on it, they were more assisting her, because that'll come out, I think, a little bit in the next clip too. That's why the watcher shows up, because he was already there watching how it all unfolded, because it was her job to present that message of, try living a good life, live in love, try to find peace, be happy. And that was the message that she was supposed to put out there to the crowd.
Okay, you cut out for a second there. I don't know if that was our internet or not, but yeah.
So we're going to go to the next clip.
Yeah, so this is the last clip, and in this clip, it talks, I believe, a little bit more about the bird-like being that's there with her, but also about how everything's starting to blow up and start getting really tense. So like chaos is ensuing.
And what are you talking about?
I think things aren't going well. It seems like people are tense.
What are they tense about?
It's like we're still trying to help, but it seems like it's not helping like we wanted.
And so what happens next?
think they're going to call in some more helpers.
What kind of helpers?
I think they're going to invite some more people to join us, and I don't know if there's going to be more non-humans, but probably
Where will they come from?
wherever they think the need is. And we need some more ideas and strategies, and we don't want things to get out of hand.
So let's move forward a little bit to where the people that you're inviting in are there. Well, what do you see around you?
It's like Anubis.
What is it?
Anubis.
Anubis? What's he doing there?
He's sitting at the table with us.
What are you guys talking about?
More strategy and plans.
Where does Anubis come from?
He has a serious connection too.
What do you guys do next?
It feels like we're creating the stories, the mythologies to help,
What is it going to help with?
to be an example for the people about life and death.
And what are you going to do with the stories?
We're going to start telling people to give them some understanding and guidance.
Wow. So this was past life. This is something that happened
In a past
long ago.
Yep.
But, we're in the same spot now. We need to call in more people. We need to call in those troops of love and light and unity and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had her work cut out for her. That's for sure.
One
did.
dynasty. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You go first.
I know one dynasty that really had a lot of problems was Antenaken. Is that how you say her?
Yeah, the 18th dynasty of Egypt.
Because he or she, now, when you see pictures of Antenaken, he looks very, very, to me, alien. And he wanted to bring back the concept of one God. And there was a lot of rebellion against that. And to the point where after he was thrown out or taken out, they ripped everything down that he had done, tried to. All the artwork, all the buildings. And so, but it's interesting because he was trying to bring back that concept of one supreme being, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael, yeah. So I just got this feeling that, that perhaps this was the time that she's talking about, because there was a lot of rebellion, people, and a lot of unrest of what was going on.
Yeah, maybe that was the chaos that she was seeing and describing.
Did she say something about she was trying to write stories down that would be educational for future generations, not her words, about what they were doing? I thought I heard something like that.
Yeah, so what she was talking
That was
about,
curious to me.
because the chaos was ensuing, they were calling it a new council of just a mixture of probably different beings. But what she had mentioned was that Anubis was there. And it took me a few times to actually understand what she was saying. And she was talking about, the god. And that they were sitting at the table and they were going to write out mythology that they could use to teach the people, to show them a set of rules to go by.
So they did. So she did say
How to
that.
lead. Yeah, how to lead a life.
But I thought Anubis was like a cloud or something. I never.
No, it's a bird, actually.
Okay.
And it's blue.
So the Anubis, and you're interpreting Anubis as the god?
Yes. Yeah. That's what she said.
I know she said a watcher. The
Yeah.
other time. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's at that clip before, that's where he was coming in, and she said he knows more. And so it turned into a bigger council of people coming in.
Bill, am I right? It was a bird. Anubis, wasn't it a bird-like creature as far as the painting goes and as far as the pictures go?
I defer to Michael's certainty on it, and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the bird-like, but it looks more like a crane or something. You know?
Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm just typing in. You spell it Nubis?
Anubis.
Oh, AN.
Yeah, Anubis.
I was doing
All right.
the exact same
Okay,
thing.
I
Oh,
thought it was Nub. I thought you said Nubis.
Well, maybe
Hold on,
not.
let's
Maybe
look.
I've got that wrong. So
Anubis.
ancient Greek. Also,
Okay. Oh my God! It says God. It's an Egyptian god.
yeah.
Oh, that's
The-
yeah. Anubis.
I don't
I'm
know if
thinking
anyone can
Anubis.
see that.
He's got the
Probably not.
jackal-like.
Okay, so it's not
Okay,
the bird-like.
Anubis.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm
Yeah,
trying-
yeah.
Oh
that's
wait, I
it.
think the bird is maybe Horus. I don't know if we're gonna play this game.
Yeah,
but-
Yeah, well,
yes.
horse was a hawk. Yeah, but there
Yeah.
was also a crane
But
looking.
yeah, but
yeah,
Anubis
Anubis
was
I
an
thought was
Egyptian-
dog-like, but then again,
Anubis
wanna
is the
contest
Egyptian
him.
god
You
of
see that?
the dead.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah.
the god of the dead,
right,
represented as a jackal or a man with the head of a jackal. Okay.
right.
So she's saying, well, so we're still in Egypt.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Wow. All righty.
All right. So that's all I have for tonight's show. So big thanks to you guys. I know it was a little bit of a different take than what we usually do. I just wanted to try to do
No,
something.
it's
a little
good. I enjoyed it.
Well, sometimes
I enjoy
the regressions get a little heavy. So something just a little bit different to have a little bit of fun.
No,
But big thanks to the audience for everybody tuning in and listening. And you guys have a great night.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. We'll
Yeah.
see y'all
Thank you.
next week. Good night.
We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiences with extraterrestrials.
yeah. I remember an interview with somebody that they were in an underground base somewhere, and they were face to face with an insect type being, and we couldn't handle looking into the mouth. And the being picked up on it and said, "You should look at yourself." You know. Yeah. So it was both ways. It wasn't working. You know. We were talking about Egypt, right? And if you look at the hieroglyphics or the paintings and everything, there's many different kinds of beings on that in those paintings. And whether they just represent something or they're actual beings, I don't know. But it's very possible that they could represent somebody. So if that's the case, yeah, there was a lot of meanings between different kinds of beings and back then.
It's time for disclosure. It's time for truth, because truth brings powerful transformations.
Did we get into? Does she get into specifics about? I mean, my imagination's running 10 different directions when she says squid-like. So I don't know if she says anything more specifically about the appearance.
We're the voices of change and profound evolution.
Interesting, and it's funny that we all kind of got stuck right there on the squid. But the cool part of it is that it sounds like she works with a group of humans, and this group of beings who they can't see, I'm assuming, are assisting her and working with them.
We're the bridge between two different worlds.
You know, for me, it brings up free will, those type of things. I wanted more from her because she's thinking in polarities. There's no gray, good people, bad people. What does that mean? You know, and if you come from the template that people evolve and that people are growing, so that now you've got them in categories. Does it take away their life lessons? Is it really possible for everybody to have a good life? What does that mean? So to me, it was just more questions than answers, because she's very vague and, you know, thinking of good and bad and black and white. I think it may be a little more complicated than that.
Right.
So that's what I was thinking about. I want to speculate, but I don't want to go too far afield. But she did say her wording was, encourage people so they're not forcing an agenda on you. But it does, for me, raise those kinds of questions. Suppose this lifetime is not going to be, well, suppose there's reincarnation, but suppose maybe I got some life lessons to learn, and what does a good life look like?
Profound integration is coming. Just who are extraterrestrials?
Okay, so let's drift and float away from that scene, and we're going to move to an important day when you're using your skills and your writing and your advising and you're using your voice and speaking out. And we're moving to that day. Tell me what's happening around you.
There's more people around. It's not just a small group.
Do you know these people?
I recognize some of them.
And what are you doing?
I'm sitting and I'm looking at things I wrote. I'm talking. It's like I'm looking at my notes.
What kind of things are you talking about?
Trying to be encouraging, and I'm trying to share what we talked about with the group, and we get approachable so that everyone understands the important messages, but you have to be careful and respectful and not pushy.
What's the most important message?
You have to be careful what the rulers are saying, because it's not always the best. You have to be careful when you say that, because you get in trouble. You don't want to cause a rebellion. You want people to be more loving.
And so what happens next?
People are starting to drift away now. I think I'm done talking to them.
Alright, and what's happening now?
Just sitting, enjoying the environment, breeze, relaxation.
Who's there with you?
Looks like a bird. But he's not just a regular bird. He knows stuff.
How do you know he knows stuff?
Because I can see that he's more than just a bird. He's connected to something more. He's sort of a watcher.
Let's find out with the Voices of Contact.